everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing good. So this is going to be our last session on JSON, basically trying to understand how we can uh, perform JSON operations using UiPath. So far we have learned what is JSON and the structure of JSON, and then why JSON is so important in all the automation tool or software we have, some of the problem statements, and then how to perform deserializing the JSON. Basically, we have two activities, deserializing JSON and then called deserialize JSON array. When to use which one is we have learned in our previous series or sessions. And then we learned about select tokens, differences between our normal, that is key, subkey versus these tokens. And we have understood what is token and tokens in UiPath, why they exist and how to use them, and basically when to use which one, and what exactly they give us as an output. And then a couple of problem statement we have solved, and wildcards that are available or that supports in the JSON that we have gone through. And these are the major wildcards that are used in most of the automation processes. And yeah, that's all we have learned in our previous session. This session, which is the last session, we're going to learn how to perform converting a data table into a JSON string. Now, why we need to learn this? Whenever we say that, okay, you need to learn this, you need to learn that, major point is that we need to understand why we need to learn all these things. So data table, you know, right? So you already, since you are automation developer, you would probably understand what is the data table. Basically, it will have a structured data. It's in a layman term, or if I would like to share some example, it would be probably the database, right? You have a structured database with the employee name, employee ID, so and so forth. That just giving an example. So now, when you have a data, a lot of data, large number of data. Now, if you're using queue-based activities or a queue-based concept, or say in general, I'm talking about. If you remember or if you recall our previous session, I talked about the benefits of JSON, right? It's a lightweighted data. So using JSON, you can pass large amount of data. I mean, you can convert your large number of data into a JSON string, which will be very light. And that's how you can perform, pass your entire data table into queue based trigger or an queue item, and inside one particular field in the queue item you can pass entire data table, right, by converting that data into a JSON string. So this way you pass a larger number of data into a single variable, and they are lightweighted, so that helps a lot. Okay, so now that's where this conversion of data table to JSON and vice versa comes into picture. Okay, now how do we perform this? I have already given, you probably have already read this, but let me walk you through UiPath steps. Okay, first and foremost, let's build a data table. So for that I'm going to use build data table. Okay, now in here let's rename this employee name. Okay, and let this be employee ID. Okay, now let's rearrange this column. Now, one employee name would be, say, Alex, and second would be Bob or Cassie, right? Uh, Now we have this data. Let's give this data table one. Okay. Now let's clone the same structure, or not to clone. Let's create one more data table here. Okay, DT2. Let's not clone or anything. I have created a blank data table. Now let's take an assign. I'm gonna convert this JSON, okay, into convert this data table into JSON string. How to do that is first, if you recall our previous sessions, I talked about the JSON is a part of Newtonsoft, which is last one, right? JSON, and then now you have to use JSON convert, okay, the third one. Okay, once you do this, JSON dot convert, and then you have to use serialize object. We have to serialize it. It's not in JSON format. We are going to convert this into a JSON format. So serialize object. When you have to reverse the order, basically convert JSON to your data table, then it's a deserialize object. Okay, just remember that concept. Now serialize object, I'm gonna pass my data table, which is DT1. Done. Now I'm gonna provide a value here, JSON string. This is a string variable. The output of this would be a string variable. Now we have JSON string, right? Now we have our data, we have our data table. Assume now you can use this JSON string to pass between workflows, to pass between your queue items, so on and so forth. In lot many places, you can have this entire data table getting passed between workflows or a queue into a queue field, certain fields. Now, uh, if I just run this, you probably, okay, let me do one thing. Let me just do a breakpoint over here. And let's run this and I'll show you how the JSON string looks like. If you see here, it got converted into a JSON format, right? Now, let's understand how to perform a deserialization of a JSON. We have understood converting how the data table into a JSON with this particular command or line, which is Newtonsoft. Okay, JSON convert, serialize object, and pass your data table. So this is your expression. Okay. Now, how to convert your JSON string, which is of a type data, which contains the data as a data table, into a data table format. It's just that simple. Instead of serialized object, deserialize object. But make sure you pass this, like we pass for all lists or collections or any other variables, right? So similarly, you have to pass this of data table. Okay, just don't forget that point. Now, take up the same thing and let me zoom in a bit. Instead of serialized object, dot deserialize object, oops, deserialize object, the fourth one, okay, of data table, and then here instead of D1, it should be JSON string, your JSON string that you need to pass. Okay, now you're done, but this should be DT2. Okay, so now there is nowhere I have mentioned DT2. The DT2 will have the informations of DT1. So to print it out, let me do the output data table as a text. Oops. Here. Now DT2 output would be DT2 data. Okay. Now let me do the right line. DT2 data is my final result. Let's see if this is or what exactly we get as an output. Now you see, whatever we had in DT1, which is 1 Alex, 2 Cassie, we got the same result from DT2 data, right? So that's how you perform a conversion from serialized object to a deserialized object. Okay, so I hope this is clear. And with this, we will close this session of JSON. I hope this entire series was useful. If you have any questions, concerns, or say any kind of help is needed in terms of converting your JSON data into J objects or array of J object, just let me know in the comment section. I would help you out on that. Yeah. So for now, that's all for today. I hope to see you soon. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you.